All right. Hello. How you doing, guys? So I have Ryan All-Nighter Hider with me today. So thank you so much for coming, man. He's currently working on a project right now with a group of investors in Gary, Indiana. And I mean, they're killing it. They just picked up a fiveplex. This thing is looking pretty decent. And Ryan right now is heading their construction and redevelopment on the property, right?
I am. I bit off quite a bit too. Coming from San Diego, I traveled all the way out here with my truck and some tools and got to see the property firsthand for the first time and saw that it's quite a bit. It's quite a bit of work, but I'm up for the task.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I've seen it myself, and I think that it looks tremendous. I mean, these guys got it for a hell of a deal. This is where working with wholesalers can be such a huge benefit, guys, because that's how they picked it up, right? Right.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Wholesalers are the guys that go out there, they find the deals, they market, they send out mailers, and then they find these properties that are in distress situations where they're selling it. They go in there, they purchase the property, they get their personal interest, and they resell it to investors like Ryan here. And essentially that's how wealth is built, through wholesalers. So great opportunity. Do you want to tell me a little bit about kind of what's going on the property? And I can even pull up a little image of it too from the outside.
So yeah, on the property, it's currently a 5-unit, livable units. The fifth one is being built in the basement right now. I'm renovating. I'm turning over 2 of the units to be rent ready. There's a single family house that's also on the lot. The single family house is beyond repair, so we're going to get rid of that and keep the pad and either pour right next to it or pour another pad totally separate and build back 4 units. So we'll go from a 5-unit property to a 9-unit property. That's the plan.
Yeah, that's a hell of a plan. I mean, he's part of the Knights of Gary, their group with Millennial Mike and a few of the amazing investors that have came out here. This past weekend, we had the investors dinner meetup. It went great. 25 investors from all over the nation came out. It was an awesome dinner. And, we had a after party over at Peddler's Pub over in Valparaiso. Ryan got to meet some good people, got to meet his teammates, in person. And, he's working hard, man. He's over there every single day, working hard, trying to earlier today, a bit of a floor mess that was going on. It looks like the floor was rotted.
Yeah. So I got there, I want to say about 11:30 at night, about a week ago. And luckily one of the units was livable. So I'm staying in the cleaner unit. The dirtier unit is downstairs. That's the one that Mike and I had cleared out. In clearing it out, we found that there is quite a huge leak. There's a leak coming from upstairs that I still need to patch. There is the wax ring was not sealing to the bottom of the toilet flange. So the worst kind of leak, a sewage leak, was happening for years and years and years, and it was just let go, and the deterioration had just it was at its last legs. It was the toilet was close to falling through the floor, let's say.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
No, I definitely could tell, or I could see it. We went over the property. We looked at the basement. We seen, that there was a good amount of water damage around plumbing. That seems to be pretty common when you're talking about these type of investments, right?
It is. Yeah. It's very typical. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like our bandwidth here is taking some beating, so we might be lagging a little bit. But yeah, no. So, I remember going over there looking, and, you guys had a total of 4 units. I think that, you guys were under the impression that there was tenants in all 4 of the units or something like that at first.
Correct. And there was 2 of them had moved out once they knew that the property had changed hands. I guess they wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah. No, I get it. People are always looking to try, especially tenants are always looking to try and get into a sweet deal, right? So when it doesn't work in their favor, people get upset. It is what it is. But this is going to be a great project for you guys. I'm really excited. I think it's a tremendous way for a lot of you guys to come into the market of Gary and feel some confidence working as a team. I think that you guys are going to have plenty of other projects on the horizon. I think as of course, Estate Squared Away develops, we're going to be helping people like Ryan get off market deals, find multi units, and it's exciting to see somebody from, where are you from exactly?
San Diego, California, man. Not the Texas one.
So I didn't realize there was two. That makes that's a good point.
I think there's actually a third.
Oh yeah,
I think it's Montana or New Mexico or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a long way, man. But how do you feel? Has it been like worth the drive, worth the effort?
2,000 miles. Yeah, it's absolutely been worth it. Looking at Gary on paper, I saw a lot of violence. I saw a lot of crime. Seeing the pictures of Gary, I could see the dilapidation, and then getting here, I could still see the dilapidation. I get a feel for the soul of the community. And I've gone and talked to several people now. We went and saw one property, and as we were looking at the property, everybody's talking in the front yard, and I see across the street there's a couple with one or two small kids, man and woman. They're kissing each other, they're hugging, and I see nice community. These look like people I can talk to. So I do. I just, without saying a word, I leave the group and I go over there and I just start talking to these people.
Yeah.
I asked them, what do you think of the neighborhood? What do you think of the neighborhood in the last 20, 30 years? And this guy, he poured out that it's not what it was. There used to be parks, there used to be kids, there used to be libraries, and it's just not what it was now. And he showed a lot of heart and a lot of emotion in doing that. And it hit me like, oh man, let's make Gary great again.
Yeah.
Let's build this place back up. And it's way more than one rental at a time, quite honestly. Like, that's how I want to build my wealth. But I want to come back in here and I want to build this community back up.
Oh, yeah.
I want to revive this community.
Which I think, it's great that you mentioned one rental at a time, because like they are doing killer stuff, man. I think that, with Mike, Dion, I've had the pleasure of meeting Dion. I haven't met the other members of that group, but they are really going after it and trying to get people to invest, abroad, invest in real estate. And I think that's tremendous. I think that, like you said, the difference between us and what we're building here is we're going to try and bring it to the communities. And we want to see that end product of that family happy, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because, these people, especially with you guys in pursuing Section 8, they are so grateful to have an opportunity to apply, get accepted, and then have a standard that they're going to get taken care of as long as they hold that standard. So, I mean, there's also that fear of losing that voucher. So you're going to get a way more appreciative person, someone who cares about not just themselves, but the community, the people around them, where they live, taking pride. And, being able to do that at a broad scale is what I think that we're going to end up leading toward. This is already showing that you guys are going to make a strong impact. Coming to the market straight out of the gate, you guys are getting a 5 unit, turning it into an 8 or 9 unit, right? And they're going to house 8, 9 families when it's all said and done. That's a community in a normal residential area where they're all single family houses. That's a block, man. Yeah. So it's going to be exciting to see how things take off, how things develop. And I'm trying to see if we can load up here, but looks like it is not going to work for us. So we'll have to. I'll make sure that I add in a photo. We'll put it right here, for afterwards when I add to the channel about our conversation here with Ryan. But yes, this project I think is tremendous. I think that you guys plan on having a lot more in the future.
Oh yeah.
What are your personal plans? I mean, so we understand you came out here, you're involved in this project for the 5 units. You're, in a team sense, but let's talk about Ryan. Where did Ryan come from? What's the backstory? And then how are you pursuing, or where are you going?
Oh, let's take it back to my dad. My dad worked, he's still around, but he worked very closely with the community. He had a couple of programs he was running: Safe Streets Now and Citizens Patrol in San Diego. He would work with neighborhoods. He would gather up people in neighborhoods that had a bad tenant, and he'd teach them how to coordinate themselves and how to document everything. Documentation beats conversation every time. So he would teach this neighborhood how to document whatever this bad tenant was doing, and he would contact the homeowner. It was generally a renter. He would contact the homeowner with all this documentation, say, hey, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take you to court if you don't get rid of this renter. And he would just lay it out. Not an attorney, just knew the law and how to pull strings, how to pull the right strings to ask the right questions. So taking that to Gary here, that's essentially, I want to do something similar. I'm not trying to hold a lot of people accountable. I'll hold city officials accountable that need to get the city back up and running and revived. But I want to come here and I want to create a community effort to revive this city, revive this community, and get things going again. Make Gary great again. That's the goal. And I want to coordinate with city officials and real estate investors and wholesalers, and get everybody coordinated. And let's make Gary great again.
Yeah. And I've talked about Gary before on these agent hours, office hours, where this community is so torn apart, where homes are like, I think it's over 20% of all homes are abandoned. Houses are selling turnkey for 40, 50, 60,000 people. I think the population is like, I want to say it's like in the 60s, maybe even less than 60,000 people. And at one point, Gary back in the 70s had over 200,000 people. So it's like, a major shift. I mean, people are leaving there consistently. I did some research on the US Census the other day, where it's dropping 3% each year. So they got to make a change. They need an organization like our organization to come in, where it's people from all around the world coming in to help this community, and then associate it to government assistance programs, because that's how we're going to be able to teach them how to take care of themselves again. Sometimes you need a helping hand. That's perfectly fine. We got to give them those solutions. A lot of people don't know about opportunities too. I walked into the library here recently and found out that an attorney visits every month, so you can go in and get free attorney advice for like 25 minutes, stuff like that. Like you would never realize, you know what I mean? And I'm like, wow, well, how many libraries do this shit, or how many what other resources are out there that you just don't know? Found out our local college in Gary does free tax preparations, or tax CPA work. People stress out about that, especially in business, so there's so many solutions out there. Why not go out there and try? And it's funny because me and Ryan talked a little bit about, what if we're in real estate, we are focused on the Gary market. What if we did a community cleanup?
Right. That's what I'm really excited about. Millennial Mike and I, when we were looking around at properties, we saw a park, and it wasn't that run down. It had weeds growing in it. The fence was gone. The chain link fence was gone, but the poles were still there. And that's the hardest part. So it wouldn't be too difficult to stretch a new chain link fence around there, take the weeds up, clean up the litter, and maybe a little bit of paint, and we got a functional park again. Again, go into the surrounding area and clean up the litter. That's one of the things that I've really noticed as I've been here, is that the visual cue of depravity is all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I think cleaning up the litter and getting rid of these, just tearing down old buildings, would be a huge improvement to morality.
Mm-hmm. No, you're 100% right. It starts in the infrastructure, I think.
Right.
I think
correct.
It starts where, if you can have pride walking outside and looking around, you can have pride in what you do every day. You can make better decisions. You can be a happier person. You know what I mean? I totally understand when there's a lack of resources, people go to barbaric measures. You know what I mean? So if we can the idea for a park would be tremendous. To put your own stamp and put, Knights of Gary or State Squared Away banners, on a brand new park in, this area to say, hey, this is a stamp saying that we're coming and we're making a difference. You know what I mean? That would be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like a little community stamp,
Yeah. And quite honestly, this spawned in my own head that I would fly back here on my dime because I have airline miles to burn, and on my time because I'm self-employed, and I would just start cleaning up a park.
See, that's God's work. You know what I mean? I think that if we could, how many other people are out there feeling like Ryan, feeling that passionate? Ryan doesn't even live in Gary and he's feeling like that. You know what I mean? How about the people that live there that maybe had once seen how nice it was back in the 70s? You know what I mean? What about taking pride? I mean, we already know that there's organizations and things going on locally in Gary. We understand there's a pride of revitalizing it. Let's work together. Let's figure out a way. I think that what's going to be exciting is we're going to try and have another event here around, Labor Day. Hopefully, this is a little premature, right? But hopefully me, Ryan, and the other team members can, get together on this community idea, this community cleanup. It would be awesome, I think. But, Ryan, let's continue, about your own journey, right? You came out here, or you said it started with your dad. You started having interest in construction, and then what? I forgot where we left off there.
I started in construction. My parents told me, go down the street and go talk to the contractor, 4 houses down. So I did. I knocked on his door, he answered the door, and I didn't even introduce myself. I just said, you got any work for me? Yeah, sure. Come on in. $6 an hour. I started working construction. So I knew ever since then, that was, golly, when was that? Year 2000 or so?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was year 2000. My goodness.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to get into real estate. I knew if I'm going to be working on houses, obviously this is a way to create wealth. A lot of people have. So I knew I wanted to get into real estate. It just took me forever to do so. I got lackadaisical. I got comfortable where I was, quite honestly.
Yeah.
And I don't grow in a comfort zone. I don't know too many people that do. So it actually took me getting into a rollover crash in 2017.
Oh, man.
I was in a little Ford Ranger, and I'm okay. My forearm got busted up, and I had a 40-pound battery behind me from doing ATVing in the desert. That thing I did in a rollover crash. Obviously, it came up and then came back down on the top of my head. So from that, I got a payout of $25,000, and that was the most I'd ever gotten at any point in time in my life. That was the biggest chunk of change I'd ever had.
Wow.
So I was 38 at that time. I thought, I need to create a future. This is my ticket to start creating a future. So I didn't go and do what I wanted to and buy a bunch of toys. I actually started investing and invested in myself and started learning. I went on YouTube and I typed in financial terms and their definitions, and that's where I started. I found Mark Moss. Through Mark Moss, I found George Gammon. Through the both of them, I got fairly famous on YouTube, actually, through leaving a bunch of comments
so
and stuff.
This is exactly something that we should talk about, because
virtual networking,
it's incredible. It's honestly incredible, because like Ryan here has become what's called a moderator for so many big YouTubers. And a moderator is essentially somebody that, if you want to explain it, I honestly don't know very much, but
I get to give people the boot. I'm the censorship god.
Yeah.
I don't do much censorship. I really do not like to censor people.
Yeah.
I will give them lots of warnings beforehand, but if they're just too disruptive, I gotta get them out. For the sake of the chat and for everybody's cohesiveness, I gotta get, the trolls out.
Yeah. So that probably creates bonds with the creators then, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Simon, the Uneducated Economist, he's the first one that made me a moderator. I'm thinking maybe around like 80,000 subscribers.
Wow.
So that gave me a lot more. Yeah, that gave me a lot more exposure. This was at the ORAD event in Fresno. This was the night before. I was sleeping in my truck because I'm too cheap to get a hotel room. So I'm sleeping in my truck, and he makes me a moderator, and I'm in my truck and I'm like shouting, and all this sound is just reverberating back at me. So then I go into the event the next day, and I meet Dion, and I let Dion know, man, Simon just made me a moderator. You know, I'm super jazzed about this. And so then within a couple of days, Dion makes me a moderator.
That is too awesome. See, and now who else do you know that that you might be doing moderation for, you know, or just people that
Lumberjack Landlord, Millennial Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Zuber doesn't need much of a moderator, although I'm sure I could be one there.
Yeah.
Thankfully, so moderating is actually a job. I feel dedicated. Like, I don't get paid, but I have to be on these streams.
Wow.
I feel like I'm dedicated and I have to be there. It is a job. So thankfully, today on one of the streams with Simon, the Educated Economist, there's another guy, Brody, that he's always showing up. He's consistent. He's got a good attitude. I can see his comments are always positive. He's a good dude. So for the last few days, I've been telling Simon, you know, let's get Brody a wrench. And finally today, Simon broke down on the live stream. Took a couple minutes, maybe 5 seconds or whatever, 10 seconds to find Brody's name and give him a wrench. And
oh wow,
Brody got the promo.
That is awesome. That is awesome, man. So that is incredible. I think that, you know, you have made your own stamp in not just real estate, but also in front of these guys that are pursuing something.
I've met some big names. And not only have I met them, I'm in their heads.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm memorable. So, you know, just having met somebody is cool, but actually them memorizing me and knowing me face to face. Mark Moss comes up to me. He's going to remember me. Hey, what's up, Hyder? Or George Gammon, Jason Hartman. Man, all these guys. Even Robert Kiyosaki.
Really?
He may not know my name, but he definitely remembers what I did.
Really?
So, okay, let's go into this story
now. I'm interested.
Sorry to hit the table.
No, you're good. You're good.
So it was Rebel Capitalist Live, I think number 2 in Dallas. And I go to this event, and I love to sit up front. Well, I love to sit like right up front. I happen to look back at the back of the auditorium, and there's like 700 people in this auditorium. And George, at 6'4", is pinning the microphone on Robert Kiyosaki's shirt at like 6'3". They're both way up there. I'm 5'9" on a good day. What? when I stretch and decompress my spine, say something.
Yeah.
So I just start walking back there. I don't even really know what I'm going to say, but I go back there and in walking there, I realize, okay, let's get some energy going in this place. So at the worst time possible, I stop Robert Kiyosaki and I say, Robert, can I ask you a question? And that was my one question. He starts shoving me off. No. And I just ask through the dismissal, and I say, Robert, would you go up there and curse? We need some energy in this place. Would you go up there and just light the place up and curse for emphasis? And when he heard that, oh, you motherfucker, and he loved it. He loved it. It lit him up.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, this is literally like 2 seconds before he starts walking up on the stage. He had the I don't know, 200 feet or something to walk up on stage. So he does it. He gets on stage and he says, I've got to apologize to my wife. I told her I wouldn't curse, but this gentleman in the back just asked me to curse, and I'm gonna fucking curse. And he starts going off, all these fucks and shits and everywhere going off, and the place just erupted.
Oh my god!
Just absolutely erupted. Dude. Meanwhile, Simon, the uneducated economist, is in the green room. He's gonna be the next one on stage. And this is his first time speaking at any kind of conference, first time on stage speaking at any crowd. And he hears Robert just lighting this place up. And he gets these huge butterflies in his stomach.
Oh,
and
no.
He's like, oh, man, how am I going to follow this up? Oh, man, it was perfect. It was awesome. George remembers the story. He said it a couple times on live streams. It's kind of an inside joke.
Yeah, dude, that is incredible. For those that might not know, Robert Kiyosaki is the infamous guy that made Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is one of the biggest real estate wealth building books, out there. He has this whole idea on, debt can be good. I think he's like over $1 billion in debt right now.
Right,
so,
which is the bank's problem.
Yeah, yeah, right. So that's incredible. I mean, and then you said this was in Fresno, or
That was in Dallas.
This was in Dallas.
That was in Dallas, yeah. I've seen him several times since, and he's given me some funny looks. Like you look familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
oh yeah, that's me.
See, that's what, you guys have to get out there, man. I mean, opportunities like this are all over the place. How many times, like, for one, the likelihood of us ever having a friendship like we do wouldn't happen if you didn't come out here, man. You know
right,
what I mean?
I get to do my laundry at your
Yeah.
house. Angelo's a big, huge help.
Oh yeah, no, of
he
course.
Fed me tonight.
Yeah, no.
Gotta tuck me in. Yeah. Go to sleep.
No, hey, I'm trying to lose weight, man, and I'm hitting this meal prep, So he called me. He was, coming by, and perfect timing because I'm already setting up for some chicken, rice, and veggies. We're gonna get this meal prep. So I apologized if it wasn't seasoned, but
it was good.
Yeah, there we go.
Better than boat food.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. But that's what I'm talking about, guys, where you get to see these great opportunities, but you got to go out there. I mean, they already know I'm coming to the next event. It doesn't matter, rain, sleet, or snow. We're going to be traveling, and you run into the same people consistently. I mean, let's talk about the group that seems to be going everywhere together. You know what I mean? I like, what was it? Senya, this lovely lady that just closed on a great property. She bought a property for like 61,000, is going to be renting it out for a good amount. You know what I mean? I want to say like anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500, and those kind of deals are out here.
Yeah, and that was turnkey.
And that was turnkey. Yeah,
and it was pretty nice. It was absolutely turnkey. I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything right off the bat, and I've got an eye after 24 years in construction. I've got an eye to see some funky things.
Oh yeah.
I think the only thing that stuck out was the flooring joints. They did the flooring like 1/3 cuts so that all the joints lined up. They were staggered, but they all lined up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't. That's just a personal thing of mine. I like to keep all my joints just completely at random, as long as there's no joint that's within about 8 inches, 9 inches of the next one.
Yeah.
Course by course. Yeah, I like to keep it real random. Break up any kind of pattern.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm talking about. Shout out to everyone that came out here, by the way. I know that I seen pictures of you guys at that ORAD event in Las Vegas, and that seemed like it was awesome. Tell me about Las Vegas and that event, because I wasn't there. I'm so jealous. I'm gonna be there next year for sure.
So I've done, I want to say, about 5 conferences so far. Mark Moss conference, the Market Disruptors Live, a couple of Rebel Capitalists Live, the Silver Symposium, which was also in Vegas. So that's four major conferences. Michael Zuber's 50,000 subscribers quite honestly blew them out of the water. For what I'm looking for, it blew them out of the water.
Wow.
The communication and the cooperation amongst that group was just second to none.
Wow.
Everybody was on the same page. Everybody was willing to help. Everybody was willing to share. Everybody wanted to help, and everybody wanted to share. It was just amazing, man. And then we knew that the event was being recorded. So what that did for the first time, because I'm usually just super focused on whatever's being said, for the first time, I didn't have to be focused at all. And I took the event in, because the event was time sensitive. The content was not. Because it was being recorded, I could watch it whenever I wanted to, but I couldn't just sit down and have conversations with these people face to face anytime I wanted to. So I made damn sure to walk around and talk to people and make the most of the moment.
And that's awesome. I mean, I think that did you meet anybody you didn't expect to? Did you anything happen that you didn't necessarily expect?
Oh man,
good, bad, anything like that.
So personally, for me, this was absolutely amazing. And the more I get into real estate, cooperation and communication they stand out. Like the 2 C's, they really stand out to me. We had planned months in advance a couple of viewers had planned months in advance to do an Airbnb. So I said, all right, I'm going to get Simon in on it. And so I did. I got Simon, the Uneducated Economist, this big, huge name on YouTube, got him to our Airbnb.
Wow.
And because I love the guy, he's my brother, I paid for his Airbnb. It was only $100.
Oh.
It wasn't much. It was only an extra $100. So I paid $200 for like 4 nights or 3 nights at this Airbnb. What ended up happening was we stayed one night because I felt dedicated. Like I had to. I wasn't just going to rip Simon away from these guys.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to stay at the Lumberjack Landlord's Airbnb with Millennial Mike and Dion Talk Financial Freedom. And the 5 of us, we'd shoot every piece of meat off the bone. We conversed until, I want to say like 1 or 1:30 in the morning, just, talking shop, dude.
Yeah, talking shop. Dude, those are the best times, man. That's a night with the boys, man.
It was high
gotta
level
pop open
conversation.
some brewskis, and
Unfortunately, we didn't have that.
Yeah.
Simon doesn't drink anymore, and really, I don't feel the need to very much anymore. I had my fun. I will up in Alaska.
Yeah.
I fish Alaska.
Dude.
So I commercial fish Alaska, and when I'm up there is no responsibility. There's no bills. There's no kids. There's no nothing. Just stay safe so you can keep catching fish. That's
an awesome thing, man. I definitely want to hear about that. Yeah, like what's going on with Alaska, man? Because we've talked about it a few times. You go up there routinely through the year.
I do. It's an annual addiction now.
Yeah,
and I'm an old salt.
Yeah, no, I definitely. If you get an opportunity, I mean, I know that's where they have the lights, right? Like in Alaska, they have like the northern lights.
That's wintertime, unfortunately. So yeah, I haven't seen them yet. I do plan on going up during wintertime, but I go up during the summer, June and July. So I'm up there 2 months a year. The first 3 weeks we're pretty much just getting the boat ready. It's on dry dock for 10 months a year. So she's just sitting there dry. So we start changing the oil. Getting the boat ready to get dunked in the water, loading groceries and loading toilet paper and all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Then we get dunked in the water. We go fishing for the next month, and the fish ramp in like a bell curve. They start to come in slowly, and then they peak, and then they kind of drift off.
Mm-hmm.
We end up fishing the tides, so time just does not matter. Tides dictate everything. The tides come around about every 25 hours, 25 and a half hours, something like that. So the days really are not 25 or 24-hour days. They're more like 25-hour days.
Yeah, because they ain't got any nighttime out there, right? It's like daytime 24/7.
There's about 21 and a half hours of daylight when it peaks. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Daylight, yeah.
Would you ever buy up there? Would you ever invest up there?
I would.
Like Airbnb?
I would, but quite honestly, I've only been through Anchorage a little bit. Anchorage, Naknek, and King Salmon are the 3 places I've been. Anchorage, I didn't see a whole lot of it, but I'd probably invest there. It's a big city. There's quite a few people there. Yeah. Naknek, no way.
Yeah, I don't know.
No way.
It doesn't sound that appealing. Naknek. Who's there?
Oh my gosh, that's too funny. Of all the years, I've never thought of it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh man. Yeah. Oh, I'm taking that up there and I'm running with that. That's gonna go on all the cannery walls.
Yeah, you need to make a t-shirt out of that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I do. So Sierra from Homes and Hustles, I'm gonna have her make me a shirt because I hate the seals. They eat our fish and they rip huge holes in our nets, and they're just bastards.
Oh wow.
So I mean, a lot of guys they take pictures of them. If I can take pictures of them.
Oh.
Yeah, with their high speed cameras.
Oh yeah, it's pretty high speed, man.
So I'm gonna have her make me a shirt that says "Support your local baby seal club," and it's gonna be like the Ghostbusters logo with the cross out mark being an actual club, like a caveman club, and then the ghost is gonna be a seal. See,
that's crazy to me. You first think of that, and you're like, "Holy crap, that's a baby!" Baby seals. You know what I mean? But hey, overpopulation's a serious thing, man.
Oh, they're way overpopulated too.
Yeah,
they're like little bunnies up there, and they rip off our fish all the time.
It's a hell of an activity for an Airbnb.
Especially, like I said, with the bell curve ramping in, when there's not a lot of fish.
Yeah,
and there's maybe like the nets are 900 feet long, and we may get maybe 10 fish in that whole net. And if we can bring aboard one will be happy because the seals will take 9 of them. And they won't just take the fish.
Wow.
They'll rip a big hole, or they'll leave the head in there, which we cannot sell, yet we still have to pick out of the net. And without a body, it's a lot more difficult to pick a fish out of the net.
Yeah.
It's a gill net, so they want to get stuck. Yeah, they leave
That's
lots
crazy.
of problems for us.
Yeah, I was just telling him my parents, they got a house down in Florida, and I know that down in Florida they do kind of like the same thing for like snakes, you know what I mean? Where, you know, there's an overpopulation on snakes, so it's kind of like, you know, you get out there and it's goodwill hunting.
Yeah.
No,
I know what you mean.
I don't know, just yeah.
Open season.
Open season. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, goodwill hunting is not even about hunting.
Oh man, that's a crack.
But yeah. So no, that's awesome, man. I mean, you're doing incredible shit, man. You're going out there, you're seeing the world. I definitely would recommend to everyone. They already know I'm gonna be right with you, man. We're gonna be traveling around. We're gonna be meeting all kinds of amazing investors, and it's gonna be. I can't wait. You know, hopefully this event in September ends up happening. We're gonna have such big names up in Chicago. I don't want to give away too much information yet.
We're gonna make it happen.
Oh yeah, we're gonna make it happen.
There's no if. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of it, this community cleanup idea, man. I mean, I really, really want to do it.
Yeah, that's gonna happen too.
Hell yeah. I'm already picturing it, right? We were talking, hey, can you imagine that these people come from all over the world to this event, and then we have a destination to come meet a whole community already in Gary that's cleaning up the neighborhood, doing great things, you know? It's going to be a lot of fun, man. And you're building wealth at the same time, you know?
Right. And that's another point. I've already gotten some of the hate about being a landlord.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh man, come on, you jealous fools. It just kills me. These people, they're ignorant. They're just plain ignorant.
Yeah.
They think that making a profit is a bad thing. When really a profit is a signal that a business or an individual, a person, not a legally defined person, a business or a human being, they're doing a good thing. They're obviously creating value. So profit is the signal that value is being created. Conversely, loss is a signal that value is not being created and may even be sucked out of the system.
Mm-hmm.
So am I actually supposed to operate at a loss? How does that work? How do I provide quality housing operating at a loss? It just makes no sense. These people, they read the headlines and they get these feelings.
Yeah.
Evil landlords, greedy landlords. No. It's not about that at all. In fact, the profit is very much secondary. Mm-hmm. I want to lay my head down on the pillow tonight, knowing that I'm rebuilding a city, knowing that I'm helping people live better lives, knowing that I'm increasing the standard of living for an entire city.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no, there's no amount of profit in the world that can buy that kind of gratification.
Yeah. I mean, you're 100% right. I think there's so many different perspectives, and I was looking into this a little bit about poverty and like the poverty paradigm, they call it, right? It's so funny because the same things that get criticized about the opposite side are the same things that that side is doing, whether you're on the rich or the poor. You know, if greed is a concern, there's also a greed that happens on the poor. You're being greedy when you want to have all the money. You want to take. That is technically greed. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, don't realize that, but it's like, hey, the same thing that you're complaining for, raising your rents and making it harder for you, and they're so greedy, you're on over here and you're not going to say no to something that, is given to you, or an opportunity or something like that.
It boils down to selfishness.
Yeah.
Who's selfish? And the rich and the poor can be selfish just alike.
Yeah, no, and 100%, that's 100% true. So, ultimately, in the way that I look at it, it's all about choosing your hard, right? Because right, you can be poor and hard, or you can be rich and hard. So which yeah. So yeah, there we go. As long as it's about money, right?
Right. Cash flow over everything.
Yeah, right. No, Yeah, I think that's awesome, man. I think that I can't wait to see things develop. Everybody that came out has so much ambition, and it's so awesome to feel, like how many times are you going to these events and you're meeting people that are on this journey with you? You know what I mean?
Oh man, yeah, and they've got
Like,
these incredible stories of how they've had to sacrifice, and now they're winning, and man, and now they're reaching down. So at the event, Michael Zuber's 50,000K subscriber event,
yeah.
that was a mouthful to say. The analogy that I came up with was it's very much not like crabs in a bucket where they're constantly pulling each other down. It was more like ants where they're building a tower to reach a common goal somewhere up there. And one ant will get up to the top and then reach down and pull the next ant up and pull them up on top of their head. And everybody's being cooperative. Again, it comes back to cooperation and communication. Communicate what you want and then cooperate with others to get there. Mm-hmm. We all have puzzle pieces in our pockets. If we all just toss them out on the table, we can make a puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the most motivating thing for me. Everybody that came out to this dinner last weekend, you could see it in everyone. They drove hours to come to this event and to meet each other and realize what's really out there, to see these properties and see opportunities. And it's not just talk. It's, hey, I am here. I am serious. I want to build something. Let's do it. And I know that that's how I feel. I know that I'm over here building, trying to pursue my dreams, right? Ryan's over here building, trying to pursue his dreams. Like-minded souls, man, they need to align because we'll be able to help each other. You know what I mean? Any opportunity that I get, it's always going to be Ryan's. And that's the goal, because you want to align yourself with like-minded people all the time. They even say what you are the combination of the 5 people you hang around with, right?
Right, and they don't have to be your immediate surrounding people. Mm-hmm. George Gammon, mm-hmm. He's on YouTube. He's one of my 5.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm talking about. It's choose what you want to be, pursue it, and be like delusional to that. I mean, like, honestly, because all of these guys, they didn't just all start out, being extremely wealthy. And even if they did, it's not like they're not going to go through adversity.
Still got to keep it.
Yeah.
Still got to keep it.
Still got to keep it. Hey, getting money is partially easy, right? Getting the money. The hardest part is keeping the money, right? You see, right. Almost everyone that gets wealthy, has that difficulty. You see with NFL players, with MLB players, with all these different people that just all of a sudden they're rich,
Yeah. But what's the stat? 90 or 95% of them are broke in just a couple of years after the money dries up.
Oh, yeah.
Or after the cash flow dries up.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. People need a financial education. It's not that difficult to get. Know the difference between money and currency? Mm. Money is like gold, silver, and Bitcoin. That's what I consider money.
Yeah.
Currency are the piece of shit denim dollars that we're passing around. It's not paper. It's more like denim.
Yeah.
That's just currency. It circulates.
Yeah.
It's garbage. Simon, the uneducated economist, he teaches 4 economic theories. These are not his theories. He's gathered them up and passes them on. There's Gresham's law. Mm-hmm. Good money chases out bad. So what that means is if we're conducting commerce and I have dollars and I have gold, which one do I, and you accept both, assuming, which one am I more likely to pay? The one that I don't want. Yeah. I don't want dollars. So here you go. Here's some dollars. I'm going to keep my gold. That's Gresham's law. So the dollars go into circulation, the gold doesn't. So that's why a gold standard really wouldn't work. Complementary law to that is called Thier's law. That's where once the dollars have lost all value and all confidence, then the only thing that can circulate is the good money. So the good money comes back into circulation. All that is cyclical flows.
Wow.
There's another one called the bullwhip effect, going into cyclical flows again.
Bullwhip.
The bullwhip effect. He talks about there's a specific part that he doesn't like to name, so I'm not going to name it either. But it's a rubber band with 2 hose clamps on the end, and this particular part only costs about $10, but it could hold up a $40,000 job.
Wow.
Now, Simon works retail, so he sells these things. He's actually the guy behind the counter selling you these things. So he saw this in real time where all of these products would get bought out, and now the shelf is empty. Meanwhile, these contractors come in and they need that part. It's holding up their $40,000 job and they can't get it. So the next time they come in, now there's 10 of them in there and they don't want to lose out again. So they buy all 10. What that does is it tells a signal to the distributor, make more of these. There's a ton of demand, make more of these. The next guy comes in, he buys up all 10, right? So these things are just flying off the shelf. Now these contractors, they're full of this material. They don't need it again for the next 2 years, maybe, let's say.
Yeah.
And now the distributor has ramped up production. So they're making a ton of these things, and now demand has fallen through the floor, and there's no more demand. So now there's a glut. So now the price has to fall through the floor to try to pick up demand again.
Wow.
The bullwhip effect. It's simply crossing signals.
Wow. And see, that's such an intellectual thing to, when you're going and pursuing things in life, I think it's so crazy how the different aspects of what you're pursuing, you sharpen. And I mean that right there, you're wanting to get into investing and it led you into a path to where you can understand these financial, literacies and stuff like that. So.
Right. And now that I've seen them, now that I understand them, I see them everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Just like in construction, my contractor buddy, Keith Okonski, shout out. He told me when I was first getting into construction, my eyes would change. And when I walk into buildings, I would see things differently. I would see the cracks in the walls. I would see the patterns in certain things. I would just see things with a contractor's eye. Well, now I'm seeing things in a real estate eye.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, everything's changed. I also see things with an economic eye. Now that I know these theories, these economic theories, I see them everywhere. And it's very easy to see. For example, these economic theories, they take decades to play out.
Wow.
The fourth one is the Cantillon effect. And boiled down, it's basically those that are closest to the money printer get the money first, or currency. Currency is really currency. They get the currency first. And before the prices have adjusted to more currency in the system, they get to buy assets when they're cheap. Once those assets have been bought, the price is raised because all this new demand has come in. So the prices rise up. Meanwhile, these guys that have been close to the money printer, they get to buy them on cheap and watch the assets raise in prices before anybody else gets that circulated money and can buy any of these assets, unless they already have savings.
See, that's so interesting, man. I mean, when you're going to these seminars, I mean, how would you say the average investor's knowledge base is like that you're running into? Are you constantly just running into these guys that are just extreme level, or what kind of people are going to these things? Because I would imagine they're kind of on the same type of level. You know what I mean? Like,
that's funny. Man, I kind of have to pat myself on the back and say there's not a lot of people that I can have a great conversation with, that I can get deep into the weeds with.
Yeah.
Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, and everybody learns things at different times. So I'm not saying people are stupid. I know how to drywall in my sleep, but there's other people that can run accounting books in their sleep, and I don't know accounting that well. I just don't. But I know economics. They're very similar, but they're not the same. So everybody brings their strengths and their weaknesses to these conferences. And it's much like real estate. We all need to throw the puzzle pieces we have in our pocket out on the table and make puzzles.
Yeah, no, and you know what, you mentioned economics or economies. So I know that you have a few channels yourself. Let's talk about those channels. Maybe even promote yourself. What's your main channel?
So the main channel is All Nighter Hider. That's Heider is the last name. I have a TikTok channel as well.
Oh yeah,
The Financial Logistician.
Logistician.
I
like that. That's awesome. Yeah.
I make up my own words.
You should have like one of those like college sash in your profile picture, or something.
Should. Oh, I totally should.
Or maybe just something that makes you look like Yeah, but and so those are the main two, huh?
Those are the main two. I've got another one. I've got another two channels. Consider the Logic. which unfortunately I need to revamp. I guess I wasn't using it enough, and YouTube put it
Oh,
on
yeah.
hold for me.
Oh yeah.
And then Macrowave Investing. Those two channels I started those with the intention of making content, but it's all just gone on my main channel, my namesake, All Nighter Hider. Those two other channels though I've used as means to promote my buddies.
Okay.
Because that's really what got me where I am, was simply promoting the people that were making good content. All I've really ever done was liked, comment, subscribed, and shared. Those four things.
Which you guys should do. So make sure you do that for all of our channels. You want to stay in the loops.
That's really all I've done, man. I hit the like because I do like the content, and I'm getting value from this. I want other people to get value from this. I don't want to selfishly, greedily take all this value. I leave comments, and with my smart ass comments, I've gotten in the heads of some of these creators, and I made a name for myself. They see when the videos are shared, so they do appreciate that.
That's awesome.
What's the other one? Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm obviously subscribed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and that's awesome. I mean, you do like a live stream too, or you do like some postings that you mentioned?
My channel's not big enough for that yet. I did a live stream with Simon in Vegas. That was a lot of fun on his channels. That was a lot of fun. There's awesome. a lot of viewers. We get a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
Everybody knows me because I'm the moderator. So they all see my name and my blue letters and my little blue wrench. But few people have seen my face. So getting to put a name to the face, and even just hearing my voice, my monotone, nasty voice, people loved it. They absolutely eat it up. And it's funny because I'll go to these conferences and I'll wear a name tag because people don't know my face that much. And they'll see my name tag, All Nighter Hider, because I don't put Ryan. That's my first name. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents didn't have much imagination. So All Nighter Hider is my brand, right? So I put my brand on my name tag, and people see it, and some people just light up. Wow. Jason Hartman. Yeah. When I met him, he just lit up. He was so excited to meet me, and that just, made me feel like a million Bitcoin. That was really something special.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. And that goes to show you how much of an effect you can be when you are helping other people out. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you for letting me be able to put you on the stream with me, man.
Oh, absolutely.
I really do.
Yeah, you roped me into it with dinner and
laundry. Right. Yeah, but we're trying to grow. We're trying to get somewhere. I think that I would love to see where the future is taking us. I can't wait to see the end of this project, and we'll have to be posting some videos. I'll make sure to add in a little photo here, probably later on. Once I add a little edit. You know what I mean? But yeah, thank you guys for coming. We're gonna just cut it a little shy. Thank you. Like, subscribe, check out All Nighter Hider. He's always, active into YouTube, active into real estate, and you guys will see more of us, through time and self. Right. So, all right. Well, thank you guys. Okay. Not yet. Hold on. Thank you guys.
See you guys.